And now the results are in. Taking the podium this month for the Cycling Men of Leisure:
Franklin Johnson, Alex Bell, Barbara Sharp, Mandy Johnson, Kip Uthold, Joe Grammer, Dennis Keeler, and honorable mention, Keith and Melanie Erickson.
No kissing of the cheeks, no prize money, no champagne. Just our undying gratitude and the smug satisfaction of getting every regular show 2 days before the general public.
That's right. That's 48-hour gap. Not even Pogacar. You know what? Toddy can close that.
Welcome to the leisure breakaway. Catch the sun and seize the day. Push the limit, feel the heat. Listen to the rhythm beat. Keep on moving, never slow. Where the yellow jersey goes. The tour is calling out your name. This is the leisure
Well, welcome back to the Cycling Men of Leisure's mini podcast, The Leisure Breakaway, our look at the Tour de France, stage by stage. Today, the final stage, wrapped up in spectacular fashion on the Champs-Élysées. Incredible finish. I'm Michael, and with me, as always, is my good friend, Adam.
Let me tell you something. It's wonderful to be here with you, and I saw them racing through the streets, and I think it only took me 21 stages, a couple of rest days, a lot of work behind the scenes with you, but I finally got the grip that got a hold of me watching them race like that. That was exciting.
That was exciting. Well, what was exciting is you were so busy lip syncing the song that you didn't even see me pouring a glass of
God,
whiskey. You really were getting into that song.
I'm going to tell you something. One of the greatest things about keeping all the tracks and keeping all the digital files, I'm putting that on my phone. I'm just going to randomly play it. As a matter of fact, I'm going to play it one more time.
Welcome to the...
Okay.
I want you to have that on your ringtone when I call. No, that's Michael.
Yeah, I've had the Harry Potter one for my wife for 10 years. And every now and then an employee will go, "You ever change that?" I'm like, "Nope."
Nope.
No.
I can make you a new one if you need a new song, just to let you know. But anyway, back to the tour. Man, what a fantastic finish. Today, 89 kilometers. That's 55.3 miles for us Americans. It was shortened from the planned route because of the wildfire concerns. They had to shift some of the security people that they had along the route. They had to shift that over to maintaining security and safety for the wildfire areas. So they had to shorten that up. Only 1,100 meters of climb, which is 3,600 feet. And the average temperature today was 84 degrees Fahrenheit. That's 29 degrees Celsius. Yeah, let me tell you, I've watched some Tour de France's where the winners were known. So that last day, they ride a little, they race a little. It's nothing serious. And then they get onto the Champs-Élysées and literally they're, have champagne in hand and are drinking and this kind of thing, celebrating, which I thought there would be more of that today, but that did not happen. And I'm going to tell you why it didn't happen. It's because Toddy went on the offense. He didn't have to. He already has it. It was going to be his fifth win. He could have just sat back in the peloton, but he didn't. I honestly think he was going for the stage victory. Well, I know he was going for the stage victory. He didn't need it. And I think because of that, it created this huge, strong competition within the peloton because, I don't know, it was him and Vanderpool got in the breakaway and they got ahead of everybody else. And let me tell you, the entire peloton, didn't matter what team you were, they just were lining up. They were pulling for 500 meters. Guy would pull off, the next guy would pull on. And it didn't matter what team they were on. I mean, there was, different teams. They were just in this line. And when that person pulled off, the next person, and they caught them within the last probably 900 meters, caught the two. And then let me tell you, Vanderpool pulled a Toddy on Toddy and he just attacked. He beautifully knew exactly when to do it. He went on the attack, and Toddy was just like, I'm guessing because of the way that Toddy's been riding, that he was just like, okay, you know what? I'm winning this thing. I don't need to kill myself this last 500 meters. So it was super exciting. I guess the only other thing that's really left to talk about is the jerseys pretty much stayed the same. The first place was Toddy. Second place was Remco Evenepoel, and the third place went to Del Toro. And that was kind of shaping up the last few days, so that's not really a big surprise. But Toddy did get the 5th tour, which adds him to the list of 4 or 5 other guys that have ever officially won the Tour de France 5 times or more. And then that leads a lot of questions to, will he be able to kind of dominate over the next few years and really ascend to some great height? And then the question revolves around Del Toro too, because he came in second. He's going to be a superstar. When exactly does that happen? So, well, he's already a superstar, but when does he become a team captain superstar?
He joins now 5 winners who have actually won 5 times. So he is the fifth person. Pogacar is the first rider to reach 5 in the 21st century. He has started 7 tours and finished on the podium every time. 5 victories and 2 second places. At only 27, the obvious historical question is whether he can become the first official recognized 6th-time winner.
That's right. And I do want to say congratulations, Mexico.
Yes.
Mexico has never put, if I remember correctly, Mexico has never had a cyclist on the podium at the end of the Tour de France. So this would be a first.
Del Toro becomes the first Mexican Tour podium finisher, won the stage in Barcelona, captured the white jersey, and achieved it all during the Tour at only age 22. He spent much of the Tour supporting Pogacar, and on stage 20, Pogacar returned the favor by helping him protect 3rd place. Del Toro leaves as both a loyal teammate and a potential future yellow jersey contender.
Absolutely. He's going to be there. Strong showing. So
what do you think tomorrow brings?
Tomorrow brings rest and relaxation for all. What were we at? 58, I think, was the last number, or 158 are the last total riders left.
Gotcha.
Yeah. They're going to get a lot of rest and relaxation on the way home. I had a little something interesting here, and I know you pegged me yesterday and go, why should people listen? Well, I thought I would let you in on a little, you know me, I like the history thing. The Champs-Élysées. What is it and why is it so important? Thought I'd let you in on a few facts that you may not know.
All right, I'm ready.
The Champs-Élysées is a famous, wide, tree-lined avenue in Paris, France. It's known for its luxury shops, theaters, and events that it hosts. And its name is from Greek mythology, and it means the Elysian Fields. They haven't always ended the tour on the Champs-Élysées. Prior to 1975, they used to end it at a local Parisian velodrome. And then, so it was actually ended inside up until 75. And then in 75, or before 75, a TV journalist proposed moving the finish line to the iconic avenue, got direct support and approval from the French president at the time. And in 1975, they actually started ending it there. The first victory on that stage was won by Belgium rider Walter Godefroot. He was the first one to win on that stage. But the other important fact I think we all need to remember, an American has won on the Champs-Élysées. 1989, probably one of my favorite professional cyclist, Greg LeMond, dramatically snatched the yellow jersey from Laurent Fignon in an individual time trial finale, and he got the yellow jersey on the last day by 8 seconds. So,
what about Lance Armstrong?
We're talking about Greg LeMond here. You just can't keep people on track. But so I thought I'd give you some basic information about the final avenue that they end on. You know, it's got the Arc de Triomphe on it. It's got a big statue of Joan of Arc as they come around kind of the last turn. So it's really cool. And I'm glad that somebody decided back in the day that it should not end on a velodrome, because that would, I don't know, it just wouldn't be the same. Ending it inside on a velodrome. So there you have it. Now you know all about it.
Perfect. Well, I got to ask you a couple questions.
Okay.
So how does this compare to other tours? I understand, there's always, like, have you had years where they've shortened the race for one reason or the other before?
They may have. I can't think of one right offhand where they've shortened the race. Like I said, a few years ago, they had really bad, up in the mountains, they had the really bad rains and snow, and they had to shorten a day. Literally, they had an ice jam that broke loose and was flooding over the road, and they had to call the day. But I've never seen them, that I remember, ahead of time shorten it. Certainly not due to wildfires and stuff. So,
what about anything that stands out from 2026 that just is there something that you said, wow, I can't believe that happened? Or,
well, I think the biggest things that stand out in 2026 from other ones is, number one, the number of crashes. There was very few crashes. There was a few, we saw yesterday, one guy getting 2 crashes, but they were individual crashes. We saw a few other crashes, that, involved 3 people, 5 people. In the past, I remember days when the peloton would crash out and 30 or 40 people would go down and it would jam it up. And so there wasn't as many crashes, which is a good thing, especially considering how fast these guys were going this time. So there wasn't the number of crashes that typically occur. They weren't as large and they weren't as devastating as they have been in the past. So that was one of the big things that I saw. The other would be breakouts. Before, a lot of times I've seen, breakouts, one breakout in the peloton, or, you've got a breakout, you got a chase group in a peloton. Man, it seemed like day after day, there was 5 groups on the road. And I just do not remember that from past years, having as many individual groups of the peloton, the breakaway, and then, 3 chase groups in the middle. That doesn't happen a lot. So those were probably the 2 biggest things that I was kind of like, wow, it's a little different this year.
What about Vingegaard? If he hadn't have crashed, would we have seen a different ending, do you think?
On behalf of Adam
and Michael,
we both want to say thank you
for your support.
we would have. I don't think anyone would have beat Toddy. I mean, he was just on fire. I don't think anybody. I think he would get first regardless of who he's riding against. What I do think you would have seen is you would have seen a lot different outcome on the green jersey, and I think you would have certainly seen a lot different outcome on the number 2 on the podium. I think he would have shaken it up. That if he would not have been in those 2 positions, he would have shaken up the race enough to kind of change the outcome of those. Unfortunately, we'll never know, but I think he would have kind of reshaped how the end looked as far as jerseys and podium.
What about, I guess, what about when we watch NFL, when we watch, baseball, hockey, any sports that I'm more familiar with, if they win the Super Bowl or the World Series or whatever, the immediate conversation immediately is like, do you think Brady's coming back? Or do you think, do we think that, Justin Verlander is coming back or whatever? My question to you is Pogacar. I mean, 27 years old, fair to say that he's going to try to do it again? I mean, is that what normal age can these gentlemen ride up to? I know the lady started today, right?
Yeah, I believe so. Today or tomorrow.
Okay. But how long do these gentlemen normally ride like this?
Well, I mean, they can ride up into 30s, and occasionally you'll see 1 or 2 like right at 40. I think really, I mean, he'll be back next year. I think the way he's certainly riding well. I mean, he can ride like this. I mean, it's not unusual to see them, in their mid 30s. So I think we've got another several years of Toddy, if he stays healthy, where he will be team captain on the team at Tour de France. The only thing I could see changing that would be, like I said, if injury, or if Del Toro keeps performing the way he's performing in a couple of years and doesn't leave the team, I could see them splitting and having, some type of co-captains or something like that. But now he's got several years of riding, and he's not the kind of guy that's just going to go, I've won 5. I'm good. So
every night, about starting after maybe stage 8 or 9, when I got turned on to the YouTube highlights, I would then go to ChatGPT or Claude or Hermes or whatever, and I would say, help me put a synopsis together for the show. I happen to know who won because I watched this, but help me get some talking points. Tonight's talking points were extremely interesting. It says to keep asking you about Carapaz. And it says to ask Michael about Carapaz and if he would have put on the performance between stages 1 through 15, could we possibly be talking about a different ending?
No, I don't think so.
Gotcha.
I mean, Carapaz wasn't just like setting out the first 2 weeks. I mean, he was out there, he was performing. Some guys, it's all a rhythm thing. I mean, sometimes it takes you, and each race is different. Sometimes guys just hit the line day 1, day 2, and they're just in the rhythm. But then say in the middle of the second week, they just kind of start losing that rhythm. Others, you'll see them the first week, week and a half, 2 weeks, they're doing okay. But then that third week, you just see them hit their rhythm. I mean, Carapaz was in the race, being, riding and being aggressive and all that kind of stuff. So he wasn't just sitting around. I think that you just really saw him perform this last week because I think he just really hit his groove and, was feeling really good on the bicycle. So I don't think, it's a hard question to answer because if he would have been if he would have been, you could say that about anybody. If Evanpool, whatever, would have been performing better. Would it have changed things? Yeah, if they would have all been performing better week one and continued to perform like that, I don't think any of them again would have beaten Toddy, but they certainly could have changed up the things. But he was there. I think he just hit his week 3. He hit his form, and it really showed.
Says the 2026 tour began in Barcelona and ended with 2 of the cycling greatest entertainers racing through Paris. Van der Poel won the final battle, but Pogacar won the war. And with 5 yellow jerseys at only 27 years old, the biggest question is no longer whether he belongs among the legends. It is whether he will eventually stand above them all.
Wow. You need some like Viking war music behind that one.
I know. Not this. Will he?
Will he stand above them all?
No, not that at all.
No. Okay.
I don't know. It's hard to tell. I mean, a lot has to do with what happens on the off season and what happens in other races and things, and are they able to stay healthy? And I mean, do they accidentally go over a hose and break their clavicle and miss out on something? So it's anybody's game.
You know what I recommend? You and I should just never sign up for rain again. This has happened every time. Rain is a ride right across Indiana, and it's about 160 miles one day. And we've done other stuff. Just if you're a new community member, new listener, new watcher, Michael and I, we know we have a bunch, so that's why I'm telling this. Michael and I have done some extremely long distance cycling in one day. We've done Odram across Michigan at 165 a couple times. We've done
the ride we don't talk about.
Yeah, we have a ride we don't talk about.
It's 160
in one day. We've done that a couple times. I mean, we're not the brightest bulbs in the tree. I mean, as a matter of fact, some may say that's just stupid. But every time we sign up for rain for Indiana to add another state, if you will, something happens. We're just doomed. So
the first time we signed up was 2020, canceled because of the pandemic, that little thing they called the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
And then we tried to sign up for it, and hose took me out, clavicle. So I guess we're just not destined to ride Indiana.
I think one time, am I correct? 2020 was COVID. We went back we tried 22, and then a little thing called job change right at the last second for you. But I mean, you were only out of work at that time for like 2 weeks, right?
Yeah.
But that kind of carboshed that for just a second. And then we were like, yeah, let's not do that. And then we thought about it. And then I think the word rain, it rained. So we watched the weather from home going, well, we dodged a bullet there. So anyway, hopefully no clavicle breaking. So let me ask you to finish this marathon that you and I have been doing. Marathons are running, obviously, but we've met every night. We decided to do this, buddy. We made it. I'm happy. I kind of feel like a celebratory on this end.
Got mine right here.
I love it. What mountain is on your cup?
I have Everest.
And mine are Mount Rainier, so that's pretty cool. So
aren't yours McKinley?
Oh, McKinley. You're right. Yeah, sorry. If you guys are looking for a couple of good whiskey glasses, they have mountains in the bottom. You're not seeing things. So, look at that. There you go. Where do we go from here? Well, yesterday at 4 p.m. for all of our non-subscribers, the regular show came out. We did put that out there. If you're a subscriber, you got to have that on Friday at 4 o'clock, 40 hours before. We've got a lot of stuff in the works. So I'm proud to tell you that we just signed a 1-year contract. So you get us for another year for sure. So I'm happy to tell you that.
That made it sound so. Yeah, we just signed a 1-year contract.
At least for another year, right? I mean,
you're stuck with us for another year because we signed a contract for another year. So we will be doing this for at least another year. I would mention we've also about the website.
Oh, for sure. couple of you have already been writing us. We were able to produce a new website. Michael and I knew that we'll give ourselves a D+, C-, somewhere in there on our website before we had, the stores, we had some of our adventures.
Stop. It was just junk. Let's just leave it at that. It was junk.
I'd normally censor you, but you're absolutely right. But we knew that we needed to put some actual work into our website. So kind of want to thank Trip Barker. Really, honestly, kind of sort of speaking, he's probably shocked right now hearing me say that, but he, before moving and getting his big boy job, as I always call it, nothing against him, just, career job, he had some off time and he was trying some stuff in the background with some API connections and kind of showing us what we could do with the spotlight guesses and some of the episodes. And he was kind of the driving force of kind of planting the seed in my head, but I really didn't have time. You really didn't have time. Well, actually, you had a lot of time, but it really just wasn't financially obtainable to make it all happen. So anyways, that being said, getting to the point, you and I decided that it was time for a new centrally located all Pulse Point website. And I'm really proud to tell you that it's about 95% there. It's live right now, www.cyclingmenofleisure.com.
It's for women too.
It is for women too, but don't go to that bar. We don't have that, although we should probably buy that domains now that you just said that. But it is cyclingmenofleisure.com. Right on the homepage, you'll see it's for women too. But we've got spotlight guesses. We've got every episode that we've done under the blog section. Click it. You can see the icon. There's a link right there to listen to the episode. You can read about it ahead of time. We know that people use AI. If you even scour the page with AI, you can even say like, oh, I want to know about, Luke Box in Kentucky. You can find Luke Box if you're trying to, figure, stuff like that. If you want anything you want, but if you're a Bragg listener, you want all episodes Franklin, you can search that way. Just use AI and say, show me the blog with all episodes with Franklin Johnson. It's amazing. I mean, all that's there. You can find our stores, contact us. You can submit guesses for the listener spotlight right from the webpage. Every Monday morning, tomorrow morning, 8:00 in the morning. Well, actually we're recording Sunday night this year, but tomorrow at 8:00 in the morning, everything will auto-populate. So far, that's working flawless. Let's hope it does tomorrow. I think it will, but really excited about cleaning everything up. We've got a gallery page. We're actually going to add a picture of Keith and Melanie Erickson. They took a picture ending Ragbri dipping their co-motion bicycles with their DeBrims. Thank you for wearing your DeBrims. I love sun safety. Thank you so much. But they have cycling men and cycling women of leisure outfits on, which you can buy at the website if you really would like it. You don't have to buy it, but if you want to, its option is there. Just really, really proud of the website. I mean, I know people are like, big deal, it's a website, but just a lot of cool stuff. All the social sites, if you want to know where we are socially, there's one link there. You can find everything, go whatever you want to do. If you're a person who likes Instagram, then you can go Instagram. You can do whatever you want. So anyways, good point. If you haven't heard, we're about 115,000 now. Definitely this thing is, we were waiting for the legs to keep growing. Well, I think the legs are growing. We are having a larger outreach on our landing page that Michael and I can see. Every day I go in there, it's new. I mean, I think you're probably full with listener spotlight options, cities to spotlight.
I can do listener spotlight for the next 25 years and not have to repeat anything.
Well, let me just highlight one thing, and then we'll get this last leisure breakaway song to you. What we hear is like Alex Bell. Buddy, thank you so much. He just used fan mail, and he left us a fan mail, and I'm so happy that he did. I miss his voice. So listen, it just kind of brings a smile that you and I were able to hear his voice. I mention that because right from the website, from the spotlight page, which is right at the top of the bar now, you can go and you can look at the clues from the last spotlight that Michael gave. And if you didn't want to listen to the whole episode, but you just want to play along, you can do that too. You can just make a guess. We'd love for you to make a guess. Now, of course, we'd hope that you would listen, but I mean, if you just want to make a guess based upon the clues, button right there, submit my guess. It'll take you right down to the bottom of the page if you really want to know the hierarchy, but go to the bottom of the page because that's where it's going to take you. And then you could submit a guess. It comes right to us. I mean, 24 hours a day. I may not read it in the middle of the night, but it'll come to me. But just really, really cool. If you have any suggestions for the website, don't be afraid. I mean, this is work in progress. I think this is a living document for us. This is not just a stalemate website and then we're done and okay, well, good. We answered the call. Nope. This will be a living document, a living web page. If you want to see something, you want some pictures that you've taken up on the gallery. We know that we've got some wonderful friends. I think about Gary Vaughn. I mean, he sent photographs of him in Cycling Men of Leisure stuff. I mean, we've got Audra and Natalie. I mean, we've got Ed. Ed just heard that at 1.6, by the way. But we've got so many people who have showed us, Armando wearing, Cycling Man of Leisure T-shirts when he goes to things. We know there's all kinds of you. Send us some pictures. Give us some website ideas. Something that you'd like to see because you guys are the one using it. So
the website, I'll say, is in fact more than a website. I look at it as it is our community's town hall. That's how I'm viewing our website.
There we go. And we are actually working on something really, really cool. And I'll give a little teaser because it's not fun on a podcast to hear, well, what is it? We're looking at maybe a special section for some of our very special people that have been with us from the beginning. And we'll get more into that. So.
That's a little teaser. I like that. That's good.
There you go. Well, I mean, we're not going to retire this song. We're going to have to make sure we save it in like 18 different places on the server because I know that people are loving this. And by the way, if you just want a copy of it and you're like, man, I'm going to miss that song, let me know. I'll send you a copy of it.
Yeah, you can add it to your cycling playlist.
That's right. It'll just come up when you're, you can ride Ragbri. I did have a wild spotting or spot in the wild. I was playing golf yesterday. Now it's important. It's leisure. A guy had an Indiana T-shirt on, maybe golf polo, and I was with Wayne, and you've met Wayne before. Mm-hmm. Wayne is my golf partner of 20 years, and my neighbor and my friend. And he teased the guy because Wayne is, he's got tickets on the 50-yard line at Michigan, and he said, "Oh man," he said, "well, now that you won the title," he said, it's going to be more expensive for the tickets, for your season tickets. And he said, "Yeah," he said, "but I'm just visiting. I'm not really from here. I'm from the Kansas area." And I said, "What part of Kansas?" And he said Lewiston or something like that. And so I said, "Oh, okay." I said, "My buddy lives in Lewisburg," and he said, "Oh, I've ridden my bike there before." And I paused and I said, "Did you ride Brack?" And he turned around and he looked at me. He said, "You know about it?" And I said, I was supposed to do it. I said, "It ended in Lewisburg." He's like, "Oh my God." He's like, "What are you, a savant?" I said, "No." I said, and my Wayne goes, tell him what you do. And I go, "Well, my buddy and I run a cycling podcast." And he said, "Really? Which one?" And I said, "Cycling Men of Leisure." He said, "Are you Adam or Michael?" And I said, "I'm Adam." He said, "I listened to you guys." So
no way.
He's done Bike Ride Across Kansas 7 times. And I guess it's ended in Lewisburg a couple times, he said.
There's not a lot of places along the eastern side of Kansas for it to end in that are, because you can't end it in downtown Kansas City. So yeah, there's not a lot of places to end it. So every probably 4 years, it winds up in Lewisburg here. When I wrote it years ago, I ended here in Lewisburg. Never knew I'd be living here, but yeah. Now that is just funny that you ran into somebody. Are you Adam or Michael?
Here's the funny part. And I thought we'll end with this and then I'll play the song. Here he is, skinny guy, cyclist. I'm holding a beer and smoking a cigar.
You're leisuring. You're leisuring.
Break away, catch the sun and seize the day. Push the limit, feel the heat. Listen to the rhythmic beat. Keep on moving, never slow. Where the yellow jersey goes. The tour is calling out your name. This is the leisure.